friends, welcome to or welcome back to the channel Jane Reads. My name is Jeanette, and today I am going to do a mid-year check-in tag. I don't want to call it the freak out tag because I'm not freaking out, not yet. And then we will do a goals recap because the last question leads into kind of some of my goals. So let's just start with question number 1. What is the best book you've read so far in 2026? So last week I posted my Battle of the Books video for reads from January to June. So in that video I narrowed it down to one book. The book that won, if you don't want to know, pause this video now, go back and watch that Battle of the Books tag. I will have it linked in the description below. And if you don't want to watch that video, I'm gonna spoil it for you now. And the answer is Taming Lady Temperance by Karen Witemeyer. This is a historical fiction set in Texas in the late 1800s. It is book 1 of a new series. It just came out in February. It's book 1 of the Secret Society of Sisterhood. Nope. The Secret Society of Spinsters, maybe? Why do I struggle with the series name? Maybe when book 2 comes out, I'll have the series name down packed. Either way, the book is called Taming Lady Temperance. We are following our main character, who I've just forgotten her name. Wow, what is my problem? It's because I don't have a physical copy of this book. We're following the main character who is trying to shut down a local saloon. Then we have a sheriff who needs to keep the peace between the saloon owner and this woman. But he's drawn to the woman, and the way he follows his instincts and tries to do what is right, even though it hurts him and challenges him. I loved James. He was just great. So yeah, this is the best book of the year for me so far. Question number 2 is, what has been your favorite sequel? Again, this comes from the Battle of the Books because the last 2 books that went against each other were Taming Lady Temperance and this sequel. So this was very easy. It is Beyond the Clouds by Elizabeth Camden. It is book 3 of the Women of Midtown series. It's set in World War I. In New York City is where it starts. We meet Dahlia and Zach. Again, I do not own a physical copy of this book, so I could be wrong on his name. And we meet the 2 of them, who we find out were really good friends when they grew up together in an orphanage. They started dating. They made plans for the future. Something happened. They went their separate ways. And now they must work together. And Dahlia is against the war, and the guy is part of the war effort. He's been a pilot. He's now back home. And they must work together. As we follow the course of the book, over the time, it does end up in Berlin, I think. Wow, now I'm questioning myself. They do end up overseas, and they go through trials, and we see Dahlia kind of realize things, learn, grow, and kind of accept more than settle for what she was settling for. And then we see reconciliation happen between the 2 and the beauty of it. I really enjoyed this story. I don't know, I think it's my favorite of the series. I think this series just got better with each book, personally. Okay, question number 3. Is there a new release you haven't read yet but are really excited to? And that would be Silent Menace by Angela Carl. This is book 3 of the Secrets of Kincaid series. That's pretty much all I know about it. I want to say it came out in May. I'm going to look and check. Yes, It came out on the 19th of May. And yeah, it's book 3 in the Secrets and Kids series. It's romantic suspense. I've loved books 1 and book 2, so I want to read book 3. Question number 4 is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year. This is hard because there are some good books coming out. So technically, I'm going to talk about 3. The first one is The Harris and the Horseman. No, that's not what it's called. Wow. The Harris and the Woodsman by Christine Hill Sons. This is coming out in August. It is a historical fiction. It is the second book by this author. It is set in Canada. She is a Canadian author. I absolutely loved book 1. I can't wait to read book 2. And actually it's on... Okay, I'm not quite sure where I was. So yeah, this one is on my July TBR, The Harris and the Woodsman by Christine Hill Sons. The next book is Twilight Tactics by Lynette Easton. It's a romantic suspense. It also comes out in August. It is book 1 of her new series. Lynette Easton is an auto-buy author for me, so that is why it's on my list. And then the third book is 3 Steps Behind by Danny Petrie. This is book 3 in her Jeopardy Falls series. It's a romantic suspense. I'm pretty sure it's going to pick up right after book 2, and I've read book 1 and book 2 and can't wait for this one to be released. And this one comes out in October. Okay, question number 5. What is your biggest disappointment so far? I immediately thought of Lakeshore Return by Jennifer Rodwell. I really enjoyed book 1 of this series, but Lakeshore Return is a book 2, and I really disliked this book. It had me questioning so much about these characters that I had met in book 1, and I thought I knew. And then we opened in book 2, and I was like, wait, what? Like, what? I really disliked book 2. I am really hesitant to continue the series because of things that happened in book 2. So we'll see. The other book is Remember Me by Mario Escobar. I'd read one book by Mario Escobar before this one, and it wasn't a favorite. But when I read the back of this one, I thought, oh, this is going to be really good. Like this, I'm really intrigued. It's during the Spanish Civil War. The kids get sent from Spain to Mexico for their safety. And then we're following the kids in Mexico. I was really hoping. I was buddy reading this with Alma, because I read this for Alma's monthly prompt for her challenge, and with a couple other ladies. And the whole book was just so depressing. Like, the kids could not catch a break. Like, they were constantly put in bad situations and being treated horrible. And it was just like, is there no positivity for these kids? Like, it was just, yeah, that was very disappointing. Okay, question number 6 is, what is your biggest surprise so far? So I actually have to go with a reread, and that is Blue Skies Tomorrow by Sarah Sundin. This is book 3 of the Wings of Glory series. I initially read this book October of 2022, and I gave it 4 stars. And I wanted to reread the series because this was the first series I'd ever read by Sarah Sundin, and I wanted to revisit it because I really loved book 1 of the series. So I revisited the whole series. So I reread this in April, and I gave it 5 stars. I enjoyed it so much more this time than I did the first time. Like, I mean, the first time it was 4 stars. It wasn't bad. Like, I enjoyed it. But this time, I did not want to stop listening to it, even though, like, I knew the story. It was only 4 years prior that I had read it. And I was so hooked. I loved the characters. I loved the story. I loved revisiting these people. So that is my biggest surprise, because I did not expect to enjoy it as much or more than I did the first time around. Okay, number 7, a book that made you cry. Golden Filly Collection Volume 1 by Lorraine Snelling. We're following a 15-year-old female jockey who really wants to compete and race horses. She can't officially be a jockey until she's 16. So this is the first of 5 books of the series. So we are following her kind of over that course. She turns 16 and starts competing, and things happen, like injuries happen during the races, kind of setbacks happen preparing for the races. In the midst of all that, we've got family stuff. It's a mom, dad, and a brother. So a family of 4. The dad is dealing with some health issues, and they're just kind of like school racing. Like she's being pulled in multiple directions. And by book 5, I was in tears with the way it ended. So like the ending of this book, I knew what was going to happen. I expected it to happen, but when it actually happened, it was like, no, you can't do that. Even though, like, I knew it was kind of headed that direction, I was so upset when it actually happened, and it touched me so much. So yeah, this is the book that made me cry. And number 8, a book that made you happy. That would be Taming Lady Temperance by Karen Whittemire. Kind of for a couple of reasons. I just love Western setting books, historical, like in the 1800s. I just love those. So Karen Whittemire is great. She's a favorite author. But I also read this book with my fellow co-hosts of the Read Happy Readathon in April. So with Alma and Lucy and the 4 of us. And it just, that just made me happy to buddy read with them. Kind of, it just helped our relationship, and I feel so much closer to those ladies than I did before April. And I just, yeah, so this book really holds very fond memories for me of that time, that experience reading it. But I also just really loved the story and the characters and the setting. Yeah, so this is the book that made me happy. Number 9, an author that you discovered this year. So I have not read very many new to me authors this year, honestly. But one I did read is Melanie Dobson. I buddy read The Lost Story of Via Bell with Sierra Trotter. And this was my very first time reading this author, and it will not be my last. I loved this book. I was so invested. I did not want to put it down. There was a certain character I hated in this book, and I was really rooting for the other characters to kind of see what that character was doing and can they stop them. And like, I kind of wanted the demise of that character. She just made me care so much about what was going on. I did not want to stop reading. So yeah, this is definitely an author I discovered this year that I want to read more by. That is Melanie Dobson. Okay, and the last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? Well, that leads into my goals question, or like the review of goals. So, my goal number 1 is to read 126 points, and my BFF is going to give me bonus points if I read 162. I have no idea what those bonus points will be, just, hey, you did it. Who knows, right? So, as of the end of June, I have read 74 books. So, I'm 52 books away from reaching my goal. As of today, July the 13th, I read 78 books. So now I'm 48 books away from my goal of 126. So I'm pretty sure I can do it. Then goal number 2 is to read the 26 books on my 26 and 26 list. I'm trying to find that list. Here it is. So I have 5 books remaining. I'm pretty sure I can do that. So the 5 books, oh, I put them away. Let me get the cards out. Okay, so So the 5 books I need to read is Break of Day by Colleen Coble, which is book 3 in the Annie Pedersen series. So it is the next book for me to read. Then we have Everywhere to Hide by Suri Mitchell, which is a standalone. We have Nightfall by Nancy Mell. This is book 1 in the Quantico Files series, I think is what it's called. So it's the next book for me to read. We have Everything's Coming Up Rosie by Courtney Walsh, also a standalone. And then we have The Starlit Spy by Rachel Scott McDaniel. So it's part of the Heroines of World War II series. So these ones do not need to be read in order. So that is the 5 books out of my 26 books that I need to read. So I'm very close to being done that, thankfully. Okay, then we have goal number 3 is to read the 16 books on my rereads bingo board. This board is not as good as the other one. So I have 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 3, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I have 9 spots remaining. However, there's actually 12 books I need to read because some of them, like this one here, is book 3 of a series and I've only read book 1. So I need to read book 2 and book 3 to get there. So there's a couple that I need to read another book before I can even read the book that's on here. So yeah, I have 12 books technically, even though it only looks like 9. So I need to work on that. Okay, goal number 4 is to read my 10 self-destruct books. So here's my self-destruct list. I put the month beside when I completed them. So I only have 2 books left. That is The Day the World Came to Town by Jim DeFeed, and I'm hoping to read that in September. And then Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. I don't have a plan for that yet, but I'm hoping it should be read. Okay, then goal number 5 is to make progress in 26 series. I have not figured this one out. I've read quite a bit of series, but I haven't actually calculated it out. But I think I'm doing okay. I think. I'm really hoping for series September to make a lot of progress on that. So we will see. Okay. Number 6 is to binge 8 series. So read from start to finish this year. So far, I have done 3. And I'm hoping to do 8. So, So, I mean, how many do I have? Like 1 book left. So, oh, no. So I could do the Among the Innocent series by Mary Alford. I only have 1 book remaining there. Liz Tolstoy's series, Echo of the Past. I only have 1 book remaining there. I've done that one. I have 2.5 books left in the Porter family series. The half is being a novella. So hopefully I can do that. So I need to focus on some of those series. Because like I could do this Carrie Stewart Parks, but that's 3 books, the Gwen Macy series. I could do In Search of Prince by Tony Shiloh. That is 2 books. I could do The Quantico Files by Nancy Mell, which is 3 books. So yeah, I need to really look at that. I could do the Suncoast Chronicles series by Terry Blackstock. That is 3 more books, but 2 of those need to be read for my rereads board, so that would only leave 1. So, I mean, there's a few. That might take some focus. Series September? Is it coming soon? Okay. Goal number 7 was to read 7 books purchased prior to 2020. So I have that list. Where is it? Okay, so that's the bottom half of this sheet. I've only read 3, so I have 4 more that have to be read, but this is like, this is all my options. I don't have to read all of them. They're just my options. And I do have one of them for sure on my TBR for this month. And Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie, which is on my self-destruct list, is also on this list. So that would hit, I read it there, it would hit here. I guess those are really the only two. So then I still need to read 2 others. So I do need to pay attention to that list. Okay, number 8 was to read 6 authors to 0. At this time, I've only completed 1, which was D. Henderson. So I need to do 5 more authors. However, I am currently reading my last book for Kate Breslin, so that will be her done. And I only have 1 book for Liz Johnson, so I should be able to do that. I have 2 books for Michelle Shockley, so I should be able to do that. I have 1 book for Becky Wade, so I should be able to do that. And then I have 2 books for Karen Whittemire, so I should be able to do that, especially because both of them are novellas. So, I mean, that's a possibility as long as I focus on those authors rather than the longer ones like Irene Hannon, Lynette Easton, Terry Blackstock, where I have quite a few books left to read. So if I look at the ones that have the shorter list, I should be able to complete that. I mean, 5 authors? We'll see. That might have been a stretch. Okay, and then goal number 9 is to complete 5 yearly reading challenges. I have not been very good at focusing on the yearly reading challenges and completing to see like what I've completed. I am sure I filled in a lot more spots than I have. The one I have been focusing on is my Christian fiction bingo for 2026. And I am currently up to date on this. I don't have any covers on here, but I do have titles penciled in. And I am up to date. I am currently reading my Set in Scotland book for the 1 prompt in July. And I just finished The Curse of Font for the July book as well. So I'm up to date. So that's 1. I don't think I'll have a problem completing Oshina's. I just have not paid attention to fill them in. Again, I don't think I'll have a problem completing Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. Again, I just haven't filled it in. I have filled in quite a bit for Katie's Read with Winnie the Pooh. So I'm pretty sure I can complete that one as well. So yeah, I need to look and really see. We'll see. Then goal number 10 was to post book reviews within 1 month of finishing the book. Yeah. I have sucked at book reviews this year. Sucked. Like right now, well, what's today's date? July the 13th. Okay. My last review that I posted was June the 13th. So I finished A Cry from the Dust. I don't even have a finish date on, but I didn't finish it on the 13th. I do know that. It was after that. So I'm very, very close to like going over that month deadline, but I have not passed it. As long as maybe that should be my focus for tonight. Write the review for A Cry from the Dust. At least do 1 review a night. Actually, probably more than that, because I'm a few reviews behind, because that is book number 68, and I said I'm at 78. Yeah, I need to write a few. So yeah, that one I need to focus on. So that is my mid-year check-in with my goal recap. As I've said, I've really been focusing on my 26 and 26. And then once that is done, then I will start focusing on some of the other goals, like the authors to 0, the purchase before 20, my rereads goal. Those are really the ones that I need to kind of focus on for sure. But yeah, please tell me what your favorite book so far of the year is and how your goals are going. And do you write reviews after you finish each book? I would love to know your thoughts on that. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.